So morning we heard, owing to fascination for unreal objects, consciousness engages itself in things that are equally unreal. On realization of the non-existence of objects, consciousness becoming free from attachment abstains from them. And then there follows a state of stillness. When complete detachment is there, then there follows a state of stillness. Consciousness has become free from attachment and does not engage itself in unreal things. That is the object of vision to the wise. That is the object of vision to the wise. That is the supreme state of non-distinction. That is birthless and non-dual. Because the opponent has asked, what is the state of a realized person? That's why he is explaining all this. Once again, it is being shown of what nature the object of vision of the wise. Again he is repeating. Says, this is birthless, sleepless, dreamless, self-luminous. For this entity is ever luminous by its very nature. So, this is the state of self. Then he asked a question, the opponent. Evam uchimanamavi bhushaha paramartha tattvam kasma laukike nagrahyate. Now is being explained why the supreme reality is not comprehended by ordinary man. Though instructed in this manner, by teachers, by scriptures, by so many things. Nowadays, everybody is getting everything sitting in the house through TV. So, you can hear all the lectures, and this Google is there, and then YouTube is there. So many other things are, whatever you want, you can download and see. But what they are downloading, only God knows. Nothing new is told them. So, he says, whatever the teacher is explaining, whatever the scriptures are explaining, he says, nothing new is told. The Atman is self-effulgent, is told by the masters and scriptures. Even then, the supreme reality is not comprehended by medium and lower intellects. So, Sukhamiti, owing to the Lord's fondness, he says, this morning I have explained. Owing to the Lord's fondness, Lord, for any object whatsoever, he becomes ever veiled effortlessly. The Lord is no other than one's own consciousness, Jivatma. He becomes ever veiled effortlessly. So, veiled by ignorance is very common. Natural. And is unveiled every time with strenuous effort. To unveil the ignorance, one has to work hard. That he has told, because of the intensity of the desires, the bliss of Atman is always veiled, though the Atman is always there. Though the Atman is there, who cares for the Atman nowadays? You tell me. Hmm? Nobody is caring. They don't want to do good for themselves. Hmm? If you see in Delhi, it's the capital, Bombay, these places, from morning they'll be running and running, running and running. Even the small children. Hmm? I see before our ashram, very famous school is there, Saint Columbus. So, I think what is they call kindergarten. That is at the age of 2.5 and 3, they put in the school. So, the father or the mother will be bringing the child to the school. They just got up, no washing face, no way, simply just get up, make the child ready, put them. Running and running. What for running? He has to study well, he has to earn nicely. That's all. So, the bahirmukhata, the extrovertness is so much. And if we declare, before that, all the students, more than I think, some 1,000 students are there, thousands and thousands students, very big school. And all the fathers and mothers will be coming. Some functions are there. So if you see, the whole road is completely full of cars. When the time comes to take them away, so many buses, so many are there. Just that is the school and this is our ashram. If we put some such and such a date, Vedanta lectures are there, the president, His Holiness Swami Divyanji Maharaj is coming. Hardly 5-6 persons they come from the whole of Delhi. We send them all the emails, messages, everything we do. That's why I say, who is interested? The veil is so thick, so hard to uncover. That's why he says, but the Atman is always there. The sorrows are manifested. That is why this God, so-called Atman, the Jivatman, though instructed by Master and Shruti, does not become clear. Though they are explained, it does not become. Cannot grasp. The question to be refuted by sloka is shown. Evam. Evam uchimanamapi bhausha paramartha tattvam kasma laukike na grihyate ityuchyate. Even told by the masters and the scriptures, they are not grasping. Why they are not grasping is told. They can understand it is self-effulgent, etc. But what Shruti says and Master says are not meaningless. They are having some meaning, but they don't understand. Bhausha. Now he is explaining the sloka, uchyate. Owing to the Lord's fondness for any object whatsoever, he says, the Jivatman, that is, the unattached consciousness and the matter mind, they have become both Jivatman. So, he says, fondness for any object, whatsoever it may be. Some fondness is there, that's all. That which is they are not able to understand the Atma. So, even a smallest desire, if it is there, they cannot concentrate the mind on the Atman. Sri Ramakrishna puts it very simply. Nowadays, of course, such things are not there. In olden days, they used to have a needle and thread for sewing the cloth, for stitching the cloth. So, if the thread is having a little outer thread, a little yarn outer, it will not enter into the needle. So he says, even a smallest desire of the world, you have gone. If a small, what is that called? The thread with yarn, having outer threads.
What you are saying is
Split. So he puts the things very simply. That is the beauty of realized persons. Putting the highest in the simplest way. But they understand the illustration. What is illustrated? Oh, the gospel, oh, very nice. What to talk of it? It explains like anything. Day before yesterday, our Pranava was telling, when I took the book, I was not willing to keep it down. So, like people like him also, so many are there. They read, they know everything, but they cannot give up the desires. Because the knowledge is not less, practice is less. Now he is explaining the sloka. The duality is seen, but how the form of Atman, the happiness, is covered easily. You say the Atman is covered, veiled, very easily. How? He says, that is because yasya kasyasid dvayavastuno dharmasya grahena. He is attached to a particular object in duality. The object that is existing in duality. And grahana aveshena mithya bhinivishtataya. And he is very fond of that object. No, commentary. Sukham avriyate anayasena. On account of the fondness arising from infatuation, he says. That is false to grasp any object, whatsoever the nature of the duality. Lord becomes covered without effort. The opponent has asked how the Atman is covered without any effort, so easily. He says because of this. Fondness arising, fondness is there, but he says infatuation, that is false. That is, he wanted that and that alone. That is, which is besides the Atman, some objects. The nature of duality, the Lord becomes covered without efforts. For it is due to the perception of duality alone that it becomes veil. So, he says it is the perception of duality. Atman is veil. And he is giving another reason. For this reason also, the Atman is not found easily. Dukkha. He says, Dvaya upalabdhi nimittamji tatra avaranam na yattantra apekshate. That he has already clearly told. Due to the perception of duality alone, that it becomes veiled, and that too without any need of fresh effort. Without the need of, I gave the illustrations of the small boys, babies. Hmm? 1 year, 2 year, give something, immediately they will take. Ask them to give back. No. It is buy. Huh? So that is the illustration. But because of prarabdha, because of some good, these elderly persons, they get something. Huh? And again, just like boys, they say, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. They don't want to get separated from it. They don't want to give up. Huh? They don't give, see, the dana also they don't never do. Whatever they earn, that is for them. So much selfishness. And they are limited to their families. Limited to the families, only wife, husband, children. That's all. No father, no mother, no father-in-law, no mother-in-law, not serving anybody. So much limitedness. The reality of Atman is not realized. Reason is given, Paramartha. Paramartha jnanasya durlabhatvat. He says, to get the absolute knowledge is very difficult. Its uncovering becomes possible with great difficulty. That's what commentator says. Inasmuch as knowledge of supreme reality is a rare acquisition. He says, very rare acquisition. So, we can go to the story of the king and seeing the God on the hillock. So, when God has permitted, all should go, but only king alone goes there. That is, he called it is rare. Huh? Edi? Huh. Huh. Oh. He says, once Narada also asked Vishnu, why you are not giving realization to each and everybody? Those who want the realization, you bring them, I will give. Nobody goes with Narada.
భగవాన్ అసౌ ఆత్మ అద్వయో ఆత్మ కాదు ఆత్మ గండ ఉండాలి అవగ్రహం ఉండాలి ఆత్మ అద్వయో దేవ
Its uncovering becomes possible with great difficulty, inasmuch as the knowledge of supreme reality is rare acquisition. Therefore, even though instructed in various ways by Upanishads and teachers, it is not possible to understand it. As declared by the Shruti passage, wonderful is the expounder of the self and attainer proficient. So, here again he says, those who explain about the Atman are very rare. And receivers are still more. Everybody wants to be a guru, nobody wants to be a disciple. Now what you will do? Everybody wants to be the guru, nobody wants to become disciple. And he is not possessing proper knowledge. In India, see, just like that day we heard this Yoga Day, International Yoga Day. How many attended this yoga performance of Ramaya, what? Ramdev?
54,532.
54,532.
Guinness Book of World Record. Yes.
Yoga class. And
At one time. In Ahmedabad, Gujarat. With Ramdev.
in one sitting, and there are big, very known narrators. So one of them is our Murari Bapu, the brother's grandson of our sixth pontiff, Murari Bapu. So who has written all the footnotes? His younger brother's grandson is called Murari Bapu. When he expounds Ramayana, in places more than 10,000 people they attend. 10,000. It is very difficult to arrange his this Ramayana program. See, we arrange 3 times because he comes to the and 10th pontiff very close to him. In those days, in 1984, you were there? 84?
No, sir.
No.
I came into this body at 81. How can I be?
Oh.
Too young, sir.
Oh.
But
So,
in 97, 98, I was there. Manas Katha, when it happened in Bhakta Niwas. That was in 2003 or 4. Manas Piyush.
Manspish, that is much afterwards.
Yeah, 2003 or 4. Then I was. But
2000, that is,
84,
no, in the ground it happened.
It happened to Bhakta Niwas. In the ground it happened, but we arranged for their meals
And this, that is in which year? 2006
3 or 4.
to 2004. So at that time you were there. Oh.
But not in
So,
84.
16 plus 6. Anyhow, so let us take the 2006.
Okay.
84, I was the in charge because I was in the kitchen. Morning and evening, 6,000 people, they used to take food. So for them I used to arrange. And every now and then somebody comes, my baby is crying, give me milk at 11 o'clock in the night. So it was very, very tough. But 2006, just to arrange his Ram Katha, we have spent, because I was the cashier, we have spent 26,000, 26 lakhs. How much it will be?
$2.6 million. Indian rupees, of course, but equivalent.
Dollars?
Dollars is around about, you can say, 500,000.
You can understand. To arrange, whoever attends, for them we have to arrange the food.
In those times.
And with him, he says, I don't take a single pie, but with him, 50 persons will be following. For them, flight ticket we have to give. We have to arrange them special food. So many things, whatever it may be. So it is cost so much. So somebody went and asked, you are a great orator, why you are not teaching Upanishads? Somebody went and asked. He says, if I teach Upanishads, 10 audience will not be there before me, he says. Oh, it is like that. That's why he says, what he says, wonderful is the expounder of the self. And the attainer, proficient, he is also wonderful. But as a monk, as a sannyasi, if you want to follow the rules and regulations completely, which have been told by the Upanishads, this is also told by our sixth pontiff, Mr. Devanandji. You confine to your room, do only Sravana Manana Nidhyasana of the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra. If you are not able to sit in your room completely and meditate, then you can just spread this Prasthanatrayi. But that also comes under pravritti, not nivritti. Nivritti I understand. It also is, he says, a sort of extrovertness. If you are not able to completely get into the introvertness, if you want to be extrovert, this much you can do, but not more than this. If you do more than this, you are gone out of sight of the Atma. So, he says this also, spreading the message, he says, for a monk, it is extrovertness. Extrovert. Or if you want to strictly follow the rules of a monk, simply sit and bas, do Shravanam Nidhyasa. No other activity is enjoined. Sanyasya Shravanam Kuryat, bas. That is the main. That's why he says, those who expound the self and those who receive the self knowledge is very rare, he says. Daivo yatha tatyena nabhati. He says, the nature of the Atman is not experienced easily. Daivo yatha tatyena nabhati. Devo. That is without efforts. So, you have to do much effort. The happiness which is there is covered, and the unhappiness which is not there is uncovered. See, happiness is covered and unhappiness is uncovered. So, everybody gets the unhappiness. It is not covered. That's why he says, for it is due to the perception of duality alone that it becomes veiled, and that too without any need of fresh effort. No effort is necessary to enter into the duality. So, what are the fruits? Then he says, Ataha Vedantair Acharyasya Bhausha Uchimanopi Naiva Jnatum Sekya Ityartha. That is why those who are experts in Vedanta, teachers, though they say, but they cannot understand. That what the question was put. Tasma Kasma Laukike Nagrihite. Why the worldly people are not getting the knowledge? Comprehended by ordinary men. And again he says, the teaching of Shruti and Master are not futile. Swami Sivanandaji Maharaj, he used to print this monthly magazine. Magazine. So, just distribute. Whoever goes on the stage, give him one copy. Or whoever comes to the ashram, give one copy. Then somebody went and told Swamiji, you see, they are not reading the books. And they just make a packet, चनाचूर खाने के लिए, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? To eat something, they use the peppers. To wrap something to eat, some song, this thing. They are using. Why you are distributing? Then what Swamiji's reply? You see, while wrapping, even if one or two fellows they read, they will be benefited. He says, that's why I am distributing. And whatever mistake they used to do, the brahmacharis or swamis, never giving any punishment to anybody. Having such a big, large heart. Just excuse and excuse. He says, somehow or other, they have to come to this line. if not today. If somebody asks of sannyasa, Swamiji, I want sannyasa, I cannot come to you. Don't worry, by the letter I am sending you sannyasa. And if somebody asks some initiation, Swamiji, I want initiation from you, I cannot come to you. Don't worry, I am giving you by phone. He used to tell. So, and those who are working in the offices, for them also used to give sannyasa. You see, sannyasa means completely renouncing. No putreshana, no lokeshana, no vitteshana. But those who are working in the offices, for them he used to give sannyasa. They used to wear the soccer clothes, they used to go to the offices. So somebody asks, why you are doing like this? One day or other, the effect of the cloth will be there on him. When he gets retired, he will come to the ashram and he will serve here. Like that he used to tell. So in the same way, our 10th pontiff, I told you, see, a particular Swami is there, and in old age you give him sannyas. Now he is getting some pension. First thing, he has not left money. And now and then he is calling his son and is giving the money. Why can't you tell him something? It is not good. Money of a sannyasi, first of all, he should not possess money. If he possesses, he should distribute to the other swamis or give to the ashram. But possessing money is the first mistake. And again, calling the son and giving, this is another mistake. Why don't you tell him? I told the 10th one. You see, these things will be happening in the world. Don't pay any attention. Go to room is old. What shall I say? Because something he is saying in the ashram, he is doing something. Why you find fault with him? Go, is to say. So they are like that. The great personalities, they know this is the way of the world. So they are not bothered if they do some mistake. Now, again he is telling something. Even the subtle topics such as the existence, now again is continuing the answer. Why the dualist is not able to pursue the Atma. That again he is telling. Even the subtle topics such as existence, non-existence, etc., to which the learned are fondly attached, become an obstruction to the perception of Lord. He says, their misconception of the Lord, that is also an obstruction. The Supreme Self, then what to speak of intellectually fancying of ignorance? See, he says, intellectually fancying of ignorance. They know everything. So previously I told, whether you remember it or not, I don't know. I was in the office, so some devotee comes. Swamiji, here what you are doing? I told you, see, morning 4 o'clock I get up. I finish my baths and arati and other things. And 6 o'clock class is going on. So I attend 1 or 2 hours the class and do something, studies and some japa in the room. 10:30 bell goes. We take food, take little rest because we got up early. And even if class is there, I will attend. Or we eat something. Again 4:30 we will go to walk, regular walk. 6:30 Arati, it goes to 1.5 hours. So come and attend Arati, take some food, read something and sleep by 10:30. So altogether you are doing only 1 hour japa. I do 4 hours, he says. I am greater than you. All right, you are having much time. And again he says, I am greater than you. Huh? Swamiji, I want to phone to. He says, he want to phone to his wife, not paying money to the ashram, taking the advantage of the phone of the ashram, immediately after talking so much, before me, he goes and talks to the wife. How are you? Have you taken food? Huh? Or how are the children are keeping? You fellow, you have not give up children. You have not give up wife. You have not give up money. And you say you are bigger than us. What misconceptions? So they are like that. What he says, misconceptions. They think they are greater than us. All right. We don't want to disturb you. You do whatever you like. That's why what he says, intellectual fancying of ignorance. They are having the dualistic thoughts and they are attached to it, and at the same time they are having full knowledge and they are doing everything for the realization. So that is the misconception. Then what to speak of intellectual fancying of ignorance? With a view to explaining this, there follows the verse. Other verse is given. The discriminating, but because of obsession, they are having discrimination. That's why he says they are intellectual, no doubt. They can discriminate. Obsession. Obsession is called duragraha. That intense desire. Because of the intense desire for the worldly objects, though they are having discrimination, Atman is covered. So, what to talk of ordinary worldly people? Intellectuals, those who can discriminate, and because of some intense desires, they are attached to the world. They are not worried about the realization of the God. So what to talk of ordinary person, those who are not having intelligence? No discrimination. What to talk of them? That's why he says, everybody, you ask why everybody is not realizing, these are the reasons that everybody is not realizing. Yeah.
Is he hinting also in this verse that intellectual capacity may end up being a hindrance to realization?
No.
No.
They are having intellect. They can discriminate. You see, there are big scholars in Kashi. They know the subject so well. What to talk of Vedanta? This is Laghu Prasthana, Brut Prasthana. Each word they can teach you. But they are all householders. They want to go to university, they want to earn money. And these Swamis, poor Swamis, because they want to have some knowledge, they go and prostrate before a householder. Whatever work he gives, they do, because they want knowledge. So they learn from them. Many are there in Kashi like that, I heard. You must have seen, he was there in Kashi.
Yeah, there are.
So,
Those are brahmacharis, and some of the swamis also, they go to the pandit. He's a teacher for them. And even the person who is teaching, even though if he is teaching Vedanta, that is just only a profession for him to earn money. He doesn't have that kind of devotion towards the subject. That Vishaya Buddhi, it's called in Sanskrit. He doesn't have that kind of affection or devotion towards the subject. It's a profession for him to earn the money. He is a professor of Vedanta, that's it.
that's all.
So the students, even though they are ochre clothed, or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, they go and because it is a tradition, you are learning from it, so you need to prostrate him, so they do it.
The stage of a sadhu, sannyasi, brahmachari is superior. But because they want to take the knowledge, they prostrate even to the householders. It happens so. What I mean to say is, they are intellectual. They can explain you better than us. But the practice is not there. So what to do? But these sadhus and brahmacharis, they want knowledge. That's why they go to them. And in logic, Mimamsa, they are householders. But such scholars are not there in Swamis. That one of our Swami is specially, he had been to Chennai and a big scholar is there, but he is a householder. But he has, with his own money, the Swami, he arranges for his food and other things, and every time he goes, every day goes to him and learns him. But he stays in Kashi, only for learning the higher scriptures in logic and Mimamsa. He went to him. So they are intellectuals. And that Dwaraka, who was explaining us 4 lectures in Brahma Sutras, what Avadhani? Ashwatthavathani. Of Karnataka, he is such a big scholar. Huh? So we arranged in Dwaraka some, I think, daily 2-2. Yeah. Daily 2-2, so 15 days or 12 days. 12 days, 24 lectures. So 24 different persons has to give. He has given, I think, 4 lectures or 3 lectures. 3 lectures he gave. And only speaks Sanskrit. Not even a single word in Hindi. And such a simple Sanskrit, so nicely he explains. Brahma Sutras. And he says, I want to take sannyasa, but my wife is not giving permission. Gone? Huh? Because, you see, the taking sannyasa, if you are married, you should take the permission of wife. If you are not married, you should take the permission of father and mother. If you take, then you will be successful. Without telling them, if you fly off from the house, then some hindrances may be there. That's why these all learned people, they take permission. So he is such a great scholar, he was having renunciation, but he cannot leave. He is attached to the wife and children, what to do? So like that, many are there. That's why he says, they are intellectuals. They can understand the things, but they cannot observe the rules. So, that only because of the past actions and the grace of the Lord, one can renounce the world. Not just by willing or by scholarship or by something. So, some grace is necessary.
He said, because of past action and by the grace of the Lord, a person may
Renounce the world.
certain life renounce the world. Then I'm going few lessons back, something we have studied. There was a discussion about Sri Ramana Maharshi and the cow Lakshmi.
Huh?
Cow Lakshmi. Lakshmi, he held the cow Lakshmi to attain moksha. That's what he did. another instance that when his mother was dying,
Mm-mm.
he stayed with his mother and he helped his mother to attain moksha.
Ah.
And Swamiji, few times during this teaching, told us that we have the grace of Ishvara, we have the grace of the Guru, but we don't have the grace of the self. So many times, indicating that in order to attain self-realization, ultimately, nobody can do it for us. Then the question comes, how can one person give moksha to another person? This is the question.
See, here two things are there. Prahlada was taken to the Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu. And he asked, what about my mother? Your mother is in front. He is in front. First she will go, afterwards only you can go. Because for the saints, the mother gives the body. So whatever they do, all the austerities, half will go to the mother in the beginning itself. So the mother realizes first, afterwards son realizes. Because the body was given by the mother. So to such great souls only, great saints are born. That's why even when Shankaracharya was in Himalayas, he went all the way to mother by the, no plane in those days. He went by just, by yoga. He went to the mother and whatever she wants, she has granted. That is, of course, mother took a word, before my death you should come. No, he knows and he went. And what I mean to say is, they are not granting. Because the body they get from the mother, mother will be granted. First, mother goes to realization, then the son goes. But it is not so with the father. That's why, even after taking sannyasa, a sannyasi can prostrate to only mother and mother alone, not to anybody else. If he is having in the house members, if at all he wanted to prostrate, he can prostrate to mother. Because the body was given by the mother, not to others. Father also no. So, just as a fun I am telling, I left house in 1970 as a brahmachari, 10 years I was there. In 1980, I took sannyasa from the 10th pontiff. So, after 23 years, that is 2003, my father took sannyasa from same pontiff. So at times, because after the arati we should go round in queue and we have to prostrate to the pontiff. So at times he used to make joke. He is senior to you, your boy. You should tell Om Namo Narayana. No, I will not tell, he used to tell. So, just fun. He says, he is my son. Why should I tell Om Namo Narayana to him? Like that, though. What I mean to say is, if mother is there, we can prostrate to mother. But father, it is not so. That's why the 10th pontiff used to tell, he is senior in sannyasa. So, you should tell Om Namo Narayana. You don't know. I will not tell. Something like that. So it is not granting actually. They are having that power. The mother of say, a good monk, first she will be getting all the results of realization. So it is not actually granting, she is having that power from the beginning itself. So, from outside if we see, but why he has not given to others? For others also he can grant, he has not granted. And in the same way, Sri Ramakrishna gives all the powers to Vivekananda, not to others. But Brahmanji came first, he has not given him the powers. Oh, they know. And another thing is, here, after realization, they are having their own ways. If they want to grant some experience, not complete realization, some sort of experience they can give. In this respect, I tell about my grandfather. My father's father was not a monk, but his younger brother is a monk. At the age of 26 or so, he left home and had his own ashram. And another ashram in Vrindavan he has constructed, lived up to the age of 103 years. So I asked, see, he was showing some miracles to the devotees. I asked my grandfather, why? Because somebody's head, he just gives Ashirvada, blessing, and his disease is released. He is getting the relief from the disease. And to somebody else, he gives some chanting. With that, all his difficulties are removed. So, I said to him, see, this is not granted by the Shastras to show miracles. But I see that you are granting. Why? Directly I asked. And see, in 2003 he passed away, and it is in 2000 or so I went to him, and a little earlier. And so I was very young at that time, 17 years, so that is 53 years, and he was 103 years. But he used to make me sit by his side. A special chair he used to put, and he asked me to sit. And then when I asked, he told, you see, it is like this. If I show them little miracles, they will have the faith and shraddha towards God. To increase their faith, I just show something to them, but not for realization. That they have to do themselves, he told. Just to increase their faith towards God. At times, as you ask, at times I do, not for realization. But that is only removing the disease or granting some money to them. So once he told me, you keep this 1 rupee note with you, a new note. I asked, why? If you keep this, you will get more money. So that year, that is long back, you see, even 2000 or so, even a little before. So that year, in 1 month, I got more than 54,000. In 1 month tour to the south, I never ask anybody anything. Whatever so after to and fro charges for me and for my assistant, still 54,000 were remaining. That is like that. At times we used to give not to all. So one or two other persons also he gave. He says, don't spend this 1 rupee. You keep this. Something is, some power is there with that. So they get more money. All these things that the miracles are not miracles, just he says to increase their faith or shraddha towards God at times and so. So,
Swamiji has also asked about the cow Lakshmi.
Cow Lakshmi, that is already explained at that time itself. So, and once the story I already gave, again I will remind, once Arjuna and Lord Krishna were going. So the villagers started scolding them. Then Krishna was sending only blessings and blessings. You will be having more fields, you will be having more money, you will be having more children, you will be having many houses, many cows, like that. They were scolding and he was says. And then finally they went to other village. There was a poor Brahmin and he brought just only one cow was there and he milked the cow, boiled it, put some sugar and brought to Arjuna and they drank. And what Krishna says, let your cow die immediately. Hare. There they were scolding and you are blessing them. You will be having more prosperity, this thing, that thing. Now he served you so much, you are telling his cow should die? What is this? Of course Arjuna asked. Then he says, you see, they are worldly people. So I am putting them in more worldliness. If they are having more property, more children, more houses, they will become more extrovert. But this Brahmin is a real devotee of mine. But when he meditates, at times his mind is going to the cow. That I know. That's why I blessed him that his cow should die. If dies, then out of mind, out of sight, out of sight, out of mind. He will remove the cow from his mind and he will completely meditate on me. Like that he said. Oh, it is. They know their ways.
This is also told in the case of Nanak, Guru Nanak,
Hmm.
and his disciples Nana and Mardana.
Acha.
Uh,
Ah.
So they go to a village where the people are not so friendly towards them. So Guru Nanak says, oh, you prosper here itself. And all those things. When they go to a second village, they are very friendly, they are very devoted and all those things. So he says, may you spread in all over the country so that the goodness spreads.
Now is going further. They are intellectual. Intellectual fancying of ignorance with a view to explaining this, there follows the verse. He says, what they discriminate? He says, asti, nasti, asti nasti iti, nasti nasti iti va punaha. Chalastiro ubhaya bhavair avrunoti eva balishaha. He says, what these intellectual persons are doing. He says, though they seem to be intellectual, they wanted to discuss and they want to determine about the Atman, but they cannot. They could not. That's why first he calls them as undiscriminating boys, Balisha. A man of puerile imagination definitely covers the self by affirming that it exists. He says, unreal, that their imaginations are not correct. That's why he says, imagination definitely covers the self by affirming that it exists. What he says? Self exists. And other fellow says it exists not. The third fellow says is existent, not exists. And the fourth fellow says exist not, exist not. Nasti, nasti. What is this? By possessing such views as that it is changing and unchanging, both changing and unchanging and non-existent. So this is the verse given by Gaudapada. That is explained nicely by the commentator. Certain disputant assert that the self exists. That is, while another Vainashika, the followers of Buddha, doctrine of Buddha says that it does not exist. Vaisheshika says it exists. Or somebody else says it exists. And what the follower of Buddha says? It does not exist. Another, the naked one, Jaina. Jaina is naked. Meaning a Jaina who subscribes partly to the views of the Vainashika says it exists, it not exists. Says that it exists and does not exist. Yet again one who is nihilist. In Buddhist there are nihilists, void. Nihilist to the core says that it does not exist. It does not exist. Of these, the state of existence is changeable, since it is different from transitory things, such as jar. It is, he says, it is different from a material jar. So, of these, the state of existence is changeable since it is different from transitory things such as jar. State of non-existence is one of changelessness. Since it is ever without any characteristic difference, since it has relationship with both changeability and unchangeability, both the states of being existent and non-existence can be of either kind, and the term abhava is expressed for absolute non-existence. So, how these intellectual people they are discussing, somebody says it is not there, somebody says it is there, somebody it is there and not there, somebody says again it completely is not there. So, they are, he says, intellectual people. They want to decide what exactly exists. But they could not decide. When these intellectual people, when they could not decide what exists, what to talk of ordinary people? That is the meaning. Because he has asked why everybody is not realizing.
The commentator using the word balaka there?
Balaka. Balsha. That undiscriminating. For all these people, all the disputants, the Gaudapada says they are Balishaha. That means they are non-discriminating. No discrimination in them.
This in the sense of like little children?
Not children. Balisha is not children, but they are
Balisha is bachkana, aviveki.
Aviveki.
Adi Bhashyakara, non-discriminating. In the last line of Sanskrit, on page 529, he is defining Balisha as aviveki, non-discriminating.
Yes. Balisha eva paramatma tattva anubodhat kimu swabhava moodaha. What to talk of? That is different.
But Balisho aviveki.
Aviveki, and Swabhava Muda means by nature those who are not having discrimination and foolish, something like that it comes. So, now he has given Asti, Vainashika says. Asti, Vaisheshika says, Nyaya Vaisheshika. So he says that something exists. Vaisheshika says, besides the body something is there. Asti. Nyaya and Vaisheshika follows of logic. Besides the body, something is there. Now how we will prove? He says, for to prepare a pot, an instrumental cause is necessary. Chityankaradikam sakartukam karyatvat ghatavat. Because it is an effect, material cause is clay, some instrumental cause should be there to prepare a pot. So, somebody must have created the world, so somebody must be there. Like that, he says, Asti. Huh? And what other fellow says? Besides the body, though it is there, but not different from the mind. Though it is there, nasti. How? It is not different from the mind, he says. The Kshenikavadi or somebody. Atman is not then, but it is only, first he has come, Vijnana, experience of the mind is called Atman. One school of thought in Buddhists. There is a different from this Kshenikavadi. Only in them a little different. Then Asti Nasti, Digambara Jain. There he gives 7 arguments. Asti Nasti, Nasti Asti, Asti Nasti, Iti Nasti Asti, something like that. It will be 7 times he will put it. The same. Are you a madcap? Why you are telling like that? He says, I don't want anybody to come and ask something. I want to avoid them. That's why I talk like this, he says. But what is his real doctrine? He says, it is there, but it is there only of the body size. Atman is there, it is only of the body size. That he says, Digambar. And Nasti, that is void, Sunyavadi. To show void is not there, that's why he says, in the end, Nasti, Nastiti. That means void, you cannot tell void. Nasti, Nastiti, Vapunaha. Then again he says, Chalaha, it is moving. Somebody says it's Thiraha, it is stable. And no, it is moving as well as it is stable, Ubhaya. Like this, Avrunoti eva bhalisha. The undiscriminating people, they discuss about the Atman like this. That it says. See, somebody says, what he told, beside the body something is there. That he says, the knower. What we say, Pramata, the knower, that he says it is Atman. The knower is because of the mind, because of the superimposition of the mind on the Atman. But he says, that alone is Atman, Pramata. That's why he says, it is moving, it is particular, it is changing, this Pramata. And he says, The pramata, the knower, is different from the body. That's what he says. But not different from the intellect. He says. That which is non-existing, that he says, that which is non-existing is stable. It is what telling non-existing, but how stable? He says, as the impression of the mind, it is stable, he says. Kshanikavadi. As an impression of the mind, it is stable. Because of the movements, he says Kshanikavadi. How you say the Atman exists? It is stable, but one moment. It's stable for one moment. So, if you say it is there and it is one moment, you cannot decide many moments. There will be no relation between the experiencer and the remember. Who is remembering? Those who are experiencing, they are remembering. What connection will be there if it is everything is momentary? It cannot be there. Then somebody says it is existing, somebody says it is not existing, somebody says both, and finally somebody says Sunyavadi, no, it is not existing. Why? Nihilist. By these four alternative notions are of discriminating people. They are discriminating, though in the sloka, Balisha is given, non-discriminating people. But the sub-commenter says discriminating people. Why? You have asked why the ordinary people are not able to realize. From their point of view, these people are having some discriminating. At least they discuss about the Atma. In that way, not actual meaning. What to talk of non-discriminating ordinary worldly people? That the sub-commenter says. So, it is only whatever the other schools of thought they are telling has been explained. By these four alternative notions, changeability, unchangeability, both changeability and unchangeability, and non-existence. Asti, nasti, asti, nasti, nasti. This much. The man divide of discrimination, as well as all those of his ilk who holds the view of existence or non-existence, really covers up the Lord. So, by these discussions, they are covering their own Atman. Even if one is learned, as long as one has not realized the supreme reality, one is only an ignorant being. Then what to speak of those who are by nature ignorant? I think in the English, the last sentence, what to speak of? Two should be there, but he has written something else. 83, last line. I made it two, but what is the last line? Last line? What is? What is to speak of? But I think it will be more correct what to speak of.
What to speak of those
Who are by nature ignorant. So this is up to 83. Again now he is going to tell in 86th Karika, from the third Karika to 86th Karika, we have refuted all the disputants. Now we are telling what is our doctrine is. From 86 he will start.